afternoon and welcome to another edition of our interview segment. Today we'll be chatting with Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. Barrister, nice having you on the platform.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being on the platform.
Yeah. Please, on a nutshell, who is Ifeanyi Ejiofor?
Ifeanyi Ejiofor is a lawyer, a human rights activist, lawyer of over 19 years post-law, who has vast exposure to general legal practice and litigation. And by the special grace of God, I'm a Knight of St. Christopher in Nigerian Communion. So I live a simple life. I'm senior advocate of the masses and defender of the defenseless and defender of the oppressors, of the oppressed. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being with you.
Thank you, sir. Is there more to being a good general counsel than just following the law?
Okay, the question appears to be vague. Because a general counsel, from my own understanding, within the context of a legal practice, means a lawyer, a lawyer who is into vast area of practice. Not in law, in legal practice, we have litigation, we have criminal law, we have commercial law, we have civil law, we have several segments of laws. So when you talk about general counsel, some people may liken it to people who are into these various areas of law. So we specialize in commercial, specialize in criminal, specialize in civil too, and we've been doing justice to it since since I was called to bar as a lawyer. In fact, I can tell you this, that from the moment I was called to bar till date, I've been into active legal practice. I've not ceased from one day from practicing law, and that has been helping me so immensely in the feats I've been achieving in this law, this discipline. Thank you.
All right. Some say if Nnamdi Kanu wins the Nigerian government, that it will be the best chance of Biafra gaining more grants as a democratic society. Would you agree with that?
Well, it depends. You know, if it's within the context of the case we have at hand, with particular regard to the matter before the court, winning federal government is a matter, is a foregone issue. That is a concluded matter. But I know we're going to win federal government. I've won them before. We're going to win them in court. Because Nnamdi Kanu hasn't committed any offense to law. Now, the right to self-determination is externally provided under our laws, sanctioned by also Nigerian laws. So, and in the sense of this rights, one may not be deemed to have committed any offense to law. So, by arresting him, and I don't think he hasn't done anything wrong by accepting for his right and right of his people. So, because it's a right provided and also covered, protected by a law, by guaranteed under our law. Now, what is important at this point in time is to consider the actions the federal government is taking against those who are saying that, look, we want our own sovereignty, our states, and they are doing this within the confines of law. How they are being, of course, it's the facts abounds about how they were being slaughtered, how they were being killed by security agents, unprovoked, right from 2016, when Nnamdi Kanu was initially arrested and detained unlawfully by the federal government. So a lot of IPOB members were murdered in cold blood. It's a matter of common knowledge, but this matter is also before the International Criminal Court as I speak to you. So, so this recent abduction of Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya and the extraordinary rendition to Nigeria, which is now being challenged, in court of appeal as I speak to you. So, in fact, as a matter of fact, judgment has been reserved. It's a matter I know by His grace of God we are going to win, and he will regain his freedom soon. So, the point is that the pertinent question at this point in time is to determine whether this right, exercisable by the members of IPOB, is provided under the law of the country. And the answer to that question is simple: yes. So, and they cannot shut them out. They cannot intimidate them to deny them that right. It can't happen. So, and they have been at all time material aside this right within the confines of law. And so this is extant and is clear. So winning government in court is a matter of it's a concluded issue. I know we're going to win them because I've been into this case since 2015. I've been into IPOB case 2015, and it's on record. I can assure you, it's on record. I've done over 1,000 cases, in fact, affecting IPOB members against the federal government, and in all these cases, I've won all of them, with no exception. So government has not won any of the cases. So, and I'm going to win them again. We're going to win them again. Thank you so much.
So what's your relationship with Nnamdi Kanu?
Nnamdi Kanu is my client. So I'm also leader of IPOB. Of course, you know, I act in dual capacity in managing IPOB cases. I am a lawyer, personal lawyer to Nnamdi Kanu in one breed. In second breed, I'm a lawyer to IPOB as an organization. So that will tell you that is special to me. So thank you.
So what is it like to be a lawyer to IPOB?
Well, I don't think there's anything difficult about it. What I can assure you, and I've been telling people, is that when you are in this kind of situation, case, when you find yourself in this kind of case, it's only you, it's up for you to know, determine, identify what you want and how to go about it. Of course, it doesn't go without being threatened. It doesn't go without being, because the matter you're doing against the government of the state. Government has the capacity to kill. They have the capacity to oppress. They have the capacity to shut you out. They have the capacity to eliminate. Now, but that capacity is limited, because once God is in control, they can't excite, it can't happen. I will use myself as an instance, an example. I've been attacked several times. I've had direct share with them. They've attempted eliminating me, not once, not twice, 3 times. But in all of these situations, in all of these instances, God saved me. So because of what? Because I've been very upright, and I've been very decisive in my steps, in my legal steps. So, and I've not compromised, because that's the most important thing. So in the course of managing this case, you must ensure that you are upright. That's most important, no matter, regardless of the kind of threat you are getting from anybody. Make sure you're upright and you are honest to what you are doing, and you are playing your role very well. That's the most important thing. But the moment you start taking certain steps which is prejudicial to the interests of those you are representing, then apparently you can be set up and you will challenge going for that. So there's nothing difficult about it, because God is there with us. That in simple language, we return all glory, adoration, and thanks and praise to God Almighty for leading us aright, giving us the strength and sustaining us, and protecting us against the evil ones who has been out there. Evil ones, when I mean evil ones, I mean the security agents, the lawless security agents we have in the country, whom the government usually send after us. I will give you an instance to this effect. June 6, 2021, my house in the village was invaded by Nigerian security agents, made up of the SSS, the police, the military, and other security formations. And my PA was right in my house, murdered in a cold blood. Then dumped inside my car, one of my cars, taken somewhere and burnt alive, burnt. God being so kind, I was in the house. But God protected me all through. As I speak to you today, none of the Nigerian security agents, none of them, military, police, SSS, civil defense, call them, have never accepted or admitted being part of the operation. And when I filed action against them in court, they filed the counter. They filed a response to those to my suit in Federal High Court, denying ever coming to my house. But God being so kind, I captured them in my camera with my camera, CCTV footage. Captured all of them, captured their activities, captured their uniforms, possibly in some cases, captured their identities. So, and this we are played in court. I've shown it to you. It should be in the public domain now. It's played in court, and eventually I got judgment against them. So, as I speak to you, 3 of my staff was also abducted during that operation, that bloody onslaught in my home. Then 2 of my staff were abducted by them, and eventually we got an information that we were being detained at the SSS headquarters. I wrote to the SSS demanding for release of them before the judgment was delivered that was last 2 months. And they never responded. So this will tell you the kind of sacrifice you pay in the cause of defending your people. If I'm not doing IPOB case, I may not be exposed to that kind of situation. But that will not deter me, because I know I'm doing it. I'm on a part. I'm prosecuting a just cause. So it cannot deter me. And I know and I believe God that my wards, my stewards who were arrested, who were abducted during that operation, will be freed. So this is, I'm just giving you kind of an insight as to what we are passing through in the course of managing this case. But once God is with you, I can assure you that nothing will happen to you. And God is with us. Thank you.
Okay. Being the IPOB lawyer, do you believe in their ideology?
I've answered that question before now. When I said about right to self-determination is extant. It's a right guaranteed under our law. And that right is a right even the Yorubas can exercise. It's right even the Hausas can exercise. It's right even the Fulanis within the confines of the generation can exercise. So, and what I'm saying is simple. We're no longer comfortable being in this contraption. We want our own state. So now, if government has taken them serious, they have a way of approaching their demands. Engage them to discuss with them. Let me know, understand, this is my children. I said, you're no longer my father. We have the right to say, I'm no longer your father, to disown you. I have the right to disown my father if he was alive, if he's still alive. My father has the right to disown me as his father. It's a right. But this is a constitutional guaranteed right for someone to exercise. It's a right, it's right sanctioned by our laws. Now, when they are saying that we want our own nation, want to go back to want our own Biafra, government should have ordinarily listened to their demands and know the possibility of probably meeting those demands. And also dialoguing with them instead of going after them. Because the moment they started this agitation, they started killing them. Of course, what happened in High School on May 2016, it's a matter of common knowledge. Over 28 persons were killed. Nandi Kano's house was invaded on 14th of September 2017. 28 unarmed and innocent citizens were slaughtered by the Nigerian government. These are people who were not armed in any manner. Then it's the history of atrocities and genocidal massacre of innocent members of IPOB by the Nigerian state is there. Is the public domain. So, and that cannot support that ideology at all, because it's ideology which is divine. The state will have many ways of approaching them. Probably look into their demands. And by further detaining them, they cannot have committed no offense unto law. They are fueling, strengthening the agitation to continue, because they cannot stop the agitation. It's an ideology that cannot be killed by anybody. Even the federal government cannot kill it. Thank you.
All right, in the past few months, there have been lots of unrest in the southeast, Imo State to be precise, where houses are being burned, and there are a lot of accusations that IPOB are the ones responsible for all this. While in the other end, they are saying they are actually attacked from the unknown gunmen. We want to know what measures have IPOB taken to distinguish themselves. Like, I will tell people that they are not the one responsible for all these dangerous attacks.
Thank you so much. Let me, you see, this question is a very important question, and I want you to pay attention to my response. Shortly after the abduction and the extradition of Nnamdi, my client Nnamdi came to Nigeria. There are protests and civil unrest in the southeast in reaction to the manner in which he was treated. He was tortured, he was beaten, he was subjected to all forms of inhuman and degrading treatment at the point of arrest, abduction. So before he was forcibly rendered to Nigeria. So I don't want to go into that aspect of the case, but let me just clear you. Now, apparently, in situations such as this, you see people who will take advantage of the porosity of the system to start fomenting trouble and also start committing crimes. Now, in the course of time, it was identified by my client, by AMI IPOB. They were able to identify the fact that there are bad eggs. There are people who are using the advantage, who are taking advantage of Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration to be fomenting trouble, to be committing crime. And these are people who are not ASM members, and they are hiding under the cloak of IPOB. They are hiding under the protection of IPOB. Once you get them, they say no, they are IPOB. And when they commit to offense, they will say that they are IPOB members. They are not. Now, and they came out to issue statements. If you go to if you visit my social media handle, you see several statements I've issued to that effect on behalf of Nnamdi Kanu. After discussing with him, you give you directive to issue statements. And IPOB also followed it up. So IPOB at some point also volunteered to be part of the people that to participate in apprehending and also going after this criminal. In their various publications, it's there, you can find it. Go to your website, you see it. Now, but you see, one thing about security, I used to tell people, is that when situations such as that happen, there is need for you to also get people who are even at the bottom involved. When I mean at the bottom, put volunteers at the local level involved, traditional rulers, everybody involved. They integrate them into the system. Because you see, it's only about someone who live in a particular setting that can be able to identify someone who is a criminal, or someone who is involved, who is fomenting trouble, or someone who is engaging in criminalities within that locality. But Imo State is an exceptional case in the sense that the governor of Imo State is also assisting in creating civil unrest and also creating problems in the state. I issued a statement a few days ago about what happened in Imo State. This is a place where you see security men. You see people they call security outfit created by the Imo State government. A Bago outfit, security outfit. You see them along with the soldiers and also sometimes SSS and the police. They will be killing people without profiling them. Once they see you on the street, they'll kill. Look at what's happening in Osukitokwa, in Osumogu, in Olo Axis, our man Co. They've killed over 500 persons there. I'm handling the case today. I'm going to court against the Imo State government. And I'm going to international criminal actions against the Imo State government. Now, they're what they call rules of engagement. Rules of engagement entail that if you are going after this your friend who is here seated, who is looking at me, probably identify him as a criminal. In the course of going after him, you're not supposed to kill this lady or kill these two cameramen. No, you will identify him, apprehend him. You will have a certain choice which you deploy in apprehending him. You not in the course of pursuing him start killing everybody around that place. It's a crime against humanity, and that's what's obtainable in Imo State. Now, if I will ask you, can the state justify? And in their response to my press statement, the Commissioner of Information was struggling to defend the obvious, telling us that the state government is not even aware about what's happening in the state. Hope Uzodimma is, as far as I'm concerned, is the governor of Imo State today. And by virtue of which position is the chief security officer of the state. So if there's any security breach in the state, or any crime committed by the security agents that are being committed now, is one to be held responsible. Is one to produce those who are involved. Is one who are also to notify those who are involved. Because this is the chief security of the state. Now that means they have succeeded in burning over 50 to 100 houses in Osukitokwa. Our mama has over 100 houses. We have them on record. So tell me what those houses are doing with the crime which they are fighting. So the state is not helping the situation at all. The state is actually creating this security in the state. Look at other states. We have Anambra, we have Imo, we have Abia State, we have Ebonyi State. Have you seen that kind of thing? Escalation in the security and crisis. Have you seen it in our state? I'm not trying to exaggerate the fact there are people who are criminals. And I'm not protecting them. I've written about them before. And I'm still saying it today. In Anambra State, security agents were involved. People were involved. There are strategy which was created by the state government to apprehend these people. And it's working out. People who are living, civilians were involved. So before you go to talk to go after Mr. A, you must have profiled him. Define your target before going after him. So, but as I speak to you today, yesterday somebody called me at about 2 a.m. I think yesterday was Tuesday, right? Yes. Somebody called me about 2 a.m. to alert me about what is happening in our mama. As at 2 a.m. yesterday, they are still burning houses there. So tell me, is there any justification under our law for you to go after innocent people's, civilians' houses and lives and properties? People are being killed in the street. People are being killed in their farms. People are being killed in their houses. Only sons, family breadwinners of the families are being eliminated on a daily basis in the State. And the governor thought that at the end of the system, you go free. You must have a day with international criminal court. And we're making provision for that effect. By the time we finish with him before the international criminal court, we start as a to other people who are doing the same part. We are articulating our evidence. We are articulating our facts. And we're going there. Because it's a clear case of crime against humanity that are committing. Genocide that's taking place in the State. If I give you the video clip now, you will not believe it. You will not believe it. It's heart-rending. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister Ifeanyi. Lastly, do you think the Nigerian judiciary is under any siege?
Well, the point is, I don't understand what you mean by siege. The point is that the system is corrupt, profoundly corrupt in all aspects of the governance. Including the judiciary is corrupt. I won't exonerate them. We still have good ones among them, not all of them. The executive, same thing. The legislature, look at what's happening in the National Assembly. So, and the worst part is that the executives, even the fair one, the few of them that are courageous to deliver justice without fear and favor, some are being intimidated and oppressed. Only this one I read over the paper, over the online, that the presiding judge of Court of Appeal, Kaduna or the about Kano, his house was invaded yesterday night by EFCC. Presiding judge of Court of Appeal was invaded by the executives. Obviously, I don't know what they're after. Right? So the point is that I can borrow your language, I wait and say that, and also I agree with you that judicial is on that stage. I can borrow because what happened in the Kano's case before we went on appeal. We have series of applications we have with respect to his lordship. Applications will file before the court. Like in 2019, we filed an application to review an order vacating his order revoking his bail when shortly after his invasion of his premises and his appearance in Israel. He deposed an affidavit of fact stating what happened in his house, how he narrowly escaped by May out of providence. And we filed this fact before the court to inform the court that look at what led to this guy's disappearance. And 28 persons were killed. It's a matter of common knowledge. Even the military admitted they invaded his premises. They admitted it in their various publications and also press statements. So, and we are still looking for evidence to try to demonstrate or show you, to convince you that this actually took place. At the end of the day, that application was treated with levity. So I don't want to go into the merit or otherwise of what's happening in the court, but I know that a lot of things are going wrong. The system is rotten. I can assure you of that. And the judges have been intimidated, being intimidated. They are working under fear. What happened before Justice Ejiofor, before my Lord Justice Ejiofor in Federal High Court here? I believe you are familiar with it. During when Soworo was brought to court. What happened to her? DSS jumped inside the court in an attempt to scare the judge. You were there. And the judge had to really stop sitting. They jumped inside the court too. I don't know where they go because the court made an order. The system that order must be obeyed. And in an attempt to probably to freeze Soworo then, and the security of personnel ran into the court. That hasn't happened before in the history of judiciary. It hasn't happened. We have not seen it in the history of the practice of law, my practice of law. But a lot are going wrong. So the point that judiciary is actually it can be correctly to say to be under siege.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister Ifeanyi, for your time.
It's a pleasure.